Beth Pline has a long and distinguished career working in the nonprofit world with the United Way and the Girl Scouts for starters. Pline earned a degree at the University of Alabama and a master's in political social work at the University of Houston. She has taught at Houston, Duke, and at Radford University, and has been a board member for many local and national nonprofits. Beth Pline also worked as a nonprofit consultant prior to being recruited in 2007 as executive director with the Roanoke Symphony Orchestra, working to stabilize the long-term outlook for the RSO. Beth Pline sat down with us shortly before she left the RSO. David Crane is now the executive director. Beth Pline, welcome to the interview.
Well, thanks, Gene. I'm happy to be here.
You've had a long career in nonprofits. What made you gravitate in that direction? I guess you were also a licensed clinician, whatever that is.
I was at one point, yes. I've always been a social worker at heart, and started out my career as an alcohol and drug abuse counselor, and got in and got my MSW as a clinician, and then I got interested in social welfare policy, and so I went into the United Way system where I did public policy analysis. I ran a big crisis kind of hotline for all of Southeast Texas, and we did management assistance for nonprofits, and that kind of took me on the path of looking at ways that I could help nonprofits to operate real effectively. And from there just kind of moved on into proving that I could do it.
Right. And here you are leading a symphony.
Here I am, yes.
You know, nonprofits, especially the last few years, or whenever the economy gets tightened up, Beth, is it really just a lot tougher for nonprofits, even for the Roanoke Symphony? Yeah,
it is. It's very difficult, and it's interesting because this phenomenon occurs where, and I have to agree with it, that the need for health and human services becomes more important because people are being laid off and they're hurting, and so certainly my United Way background just kind of pulls at my heart. And yet it is so important for people to have the arts. And you know, you can read about the survivors of the Holocaust, and they will tell you that the most critical aspects of what helped them to survive beyond their faith was some form of the arts. They could write poetry, they could draw, they were playing music, they were composing music, and not that our economy could be compared in any way to the Holocaust, but the arts helped carry people through the hard times, and so beginning to reframe that during the recession was a challenge, and yet we were fairly successful through that and able to stay afloat and not be in severe financial crises.
As we go to taping, you're about 3 months away from stepping down, retiring. And it seems like the Roanoke Symphony Orchestra is on pretty good solid base now. Talk about the state of the orchestra. I know that some of that has to do with David Stewart Wiley's star power, the maestro.
Yes, absolutely, and he is, you know, he is perfect for this community. He's such a great guy. He has a love and passion for music that, I mean, it surpasses anything I've ever seen from anybody. And
I think he's good at communicating that passion.
He is. He is a tremendous communicator, and he makes you want to embrace it. So that's been great. We are in good financial shape. We have one goal, one more financial goal, and that is we've been using a line of credit, of course, and this year our goal is to term that out and pay it off.
Okay.
And then that will help that new executive director come in with as clean a slate as we can give them, a strong orchestra, a great maestro, and a really fantastic staff and board. And you know, a solid support in the community. It's always a joy to talk to all the patrons.
How much, and I'm going to one more now, but how much do the Pops concert series, Beth, you know, the Picnic at the Pops at the Salem Civic Center, help kind of introduce maybe a non-classical fan to classical? Because, you know, they'll sneak in some overtures and some favorites.
Sure. I think it kind of opens people's palates some, and we're beginning to see more and more crossover. We have a core of about 400 people that we know are absolute. They buy both. And then we have individuals that buy to one show or here or one there. But this year, and you'll hear more about this as the summer goes on, we are going to open up our subscription packages so you can pick any 5 shows you want to go to. And make it reasonable prices from $9 to $59 depending on where you want to sit.
So you'll have no excuse not to try the RSO.
That's right, that's right.
You know, the nonprofits here, Beth, in the Valley always talk about, in cultural organizations, the need to work together to kind of be on the same page. It is a small valley and you're slicing up a fairly small pie. Do you agree with that philosophy? Is there some need to kind of work together to some extent?
Absolutely. I am a huge believer in what Center in the Square is doing, as well as the support that Center Services, their backroom services, have to offer. But being able to reduce our costs to partner with the opera, using Mill Mountain Theater's facilities and Jeff Center's facilities, help them to pay the rent. We rent consistently as many nights as any other organization in the area from the Roanoke Civic Center. So we're helping out those other organizations, and this next year I'm real excited to say we're partnering with the Henry Street Festival and Heritage Festival, and I just cannot wait. We will be performing with Jane Powell and
oh wow, I've seen Jane Powell.
Yeah, Jane's
great set of pipes.
She's actually performed with us twice in our history, and we love it when we can. And so, yeah, it's just another way of reaching out. We're going to be at the Vinton War Memorial this year doing a Sunday brunch program. So trying to find ways that we build other organizations while having people who aren't accustomed to coming to the symphony, get them a little glimpse at what they could see and get if, you know, they wanted to come more often.
Just have about a minute or so left.
Sure.
I noticed your husband's a fly fisherman, Tom Brown.
Is,
Are you a fly fisherman?
I do know how, and on occasion there are things that I want to do, like I wanted to fish in the Yellowstone River when we were out in Montana. And I want to fish in Alaska. We haven't made it there yet.
You'll have some more time now.
Yeah, but I grew up that way. I grew up fishing for my family with my father. So.
Really? Okay. So as you leave things up, and you hand it off to your predecessor in a few months, everything's in pretty good shape as far as you can see?
I think it's in great shape. I think we have a wonderful strategic plan that's going to carry us through the next couple of years. We have a great board, great staff, folks that know us and love us, and our location downtown is serving us well.
Right on the corner of Campbell and Williamson? 3
free concerts a month at the Green Room, open to the public. All you have to do is walk in.
In your little office there at Campbell and Williamson?
In our little office area there.
Okay.
So,
that sounds good. Well, Beth, thank you for coming in. We're going to have to leave there. Good luck in the future.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Gene.
Our guests today have been Berglund Center General Manager Robin Shawn and Beth Pline, the former Executive Director for the Roanoke Symphony Orchestra. I'm Gene Marrano. You can look for me in the Roanoke Star semi-weekly and listen for me on WFIR News Talk Radio. Don't forget, you can watch segments of the interview online at YouTube. Just search by my name. Until next time, take care.